What's good and what's mobbing, man? I hope y'all had a great weekend. Monday, we back at it again, right? My prayer is that you guys, including myself, that we stay focused on what our mission is from the Lord. I know we all have different jobs and different places that we work that, aren't tied directly into ministry or church or anything like that. But, we still have to go out and make a living and contribute to society. But I just pray that wherever we're at, we remain a vessel, we remain a light in whatever situation or environment we're in. So let's go get it. And with that said, let's jump into it. September 12th, devotion. Romans 8:35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? With a question mark at the end. When I was growing up, I couldn't separate myself from the love of Christ. Like if I tried, and I tried, trust me. I lived in complete opposition. I had disregard, utter disregard for anything to do with Christ. Or if somebody tried to show me the Bible, I wasn't really trying to hear that. And much like Paul, how he ran off a list of trials and tribulations and things that, definitely should have broken him. My trials and tribulations started when I was, adopted. Obviously, as I told you, I was adopted by a loving family, but the ramifications of being adopted and kind of losing my identity would play out for years to come. And then on through that childhood rebellion, going to group homes, juvenile hall, psych wards, drug rehabs, youth guidance center, to being homeless, to doing drugs, drinking, unprotected sex, being a thug, a thief, a liar, a cheat, all the way on to eventually, being a murderer. And, I know every single person could, put their trials and tribulations and run off a list of the hardships that they went through, and it's all interchangeable. And that's a good thing, because it kind of proves the point that I want to get to regarding this verse. See, the fact is that right here, the fact that Paul is making right here is that just because your life is hard and there's challenges and there's things that pull you one way or another, and we go through these dark valleys and these dark forests, that's not some type of confirmation that God doesn't love you or that God's not with you. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The fact that you're still here, if you're watching this video or if you're reading my devotion, the fact that you're still here is proof that he brought you through it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's huge, man. We have to really look at perspective. It's easy to jump on, and I'm not saying this about y'all, but it's easy to jump on the pity party and kind of woe is me, I've been through some things. If you have that eye, but if you have, the eye of Christ and the understanding of Christ, you'll realize that he's been with you through everything and prospered you through it all. If I speak about all the things that I've been through, about, being adopted, group homes, drug rehabs, prison, etc., and I speak about it, and claim that it's true, which it is, how can I have any trouble looking forward, knowing and being elated and knowing that I will have a glorious meeting with God and get to share in his glory, to be present in his kingdom? That's deep. So who shall separate us from the love of Christ? If I'm not turning from his love and he's not revoking his love for me, trials and tribulations can only by default bring us closer. You know what I'm saying? So when we remember who we are in Christ and who we are to Christ, it's a lot easier to understand and know in your heart that he's never going to abandon you, that he's never going to stop loving us. And I mean, the reminder should be, he sent his son to be the propitiation for mankind and to take the sins of the world on his back. So much so that we would have that opportunity to be with him and cultivate that relationship that he's talking about. So what can really separate us, man? If you're saved by faith, you're loved by grace, man. And we have to remember that, man. So who shall separate you from the love of Christ? It's a question only you can answer. Now let's go out there and get it. Love y'all. God bless, and keep mobbing. You already know.